Sing out loud. I get right down to what's happening today. I listen to my heart as I'm beating to the rhythm. I listen to my heartbeat as I'm beating to the rhythm. I listen to my heartbeat.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. This is not just a show. This is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am Ebony Solly. Today is Friday, October 11th. It's a little nippy outside, but we'll take it. It's another day for us to get it right, as they used to say back in the day. So good morning and welcome. Today I'm excited to be talking to the coordinator of Outreach Community Health Centers, school-based programs. So she'll be in the 8 o'clock hour. So excited to connect with her. But just talking today about healthy and supportive schools, right? Like schools are where it all begins. It's where people get their footing. It's really where we should be planning for our programming, our livelihood, our life that starts in the future, right? So they say, I believe the children are the future, all that good stuff. But it really starts in our schools. So I'm excited to talk about what Outreach Community Health Centers is doing in that space. But I'm interested to hear back from you. So talk back to me as always, Milwaukee, 414-444-5250. As we get into the fall, we bring up other health topics like the fall allergies. Sometimes I'm just fighting. My eyes are just fighting to stay inside of my head with all the pollen and the this and the that that's in the air. So look, sometimes I'm fighting for my life, just trying to be able to see. We'll also talk a little bit about what's coming up in November, some programming that we have to get your insurances squared away. We just want to make sure you're healthy, Milwaukee. So I will make sure that I do everything in my power to share with you the resources that I have, to introduce you to the super dope people that I know that keep us healthy and well, and then share with you the programming that Outreach has going on at the clinic. Now tell me this, y'all. How do y'all feel when it's like not light outside, when it's like dark and cold? How do y'all manage? Is there a formula? I need the cheat code. How do you do
Well,
it?
for me, when it's dark and cold, man, I try to get around some energy, like some light, some type
Ah,
of
like
something.
sunlight.
Yeah,
Put the
sunlight,
lights on.
lights in the house, something, just to
Get it going.
re-energize
Get it
and
going.
yeah,
Get it going. And you know what? I missed my coffee this morning. I
no,
did. I did. So I might be if anybody wants to run me a juice or something like that, I'm kidding.
run
I'm
it up,
kidding.
run it up.
Right. But it's difficult, Lord, without that coffee juice to get it going in the morning. So I say, look, there's a lot of things you can be addicted to out here in these streets.
Yeah,
Caffeine is my thing.
there
I
you
just
go.
I can't live without it. Um and I think I actually to segue this, I think I started drinking coffee in high school. Is that odd?
Well,
I mean, I had to be like maybe sophomore year. I was like, I need
man,
my
you was
Folgers.
tipsy, baby. You was boy,
I need my Folgers with
boy.
my And then back then there was a little gas station on the way to school. Once
Oh
I got my L's, right, I'm like, I'm gonna stop and get a cappuccino on the way to school. So yeah, by third hour I was lit.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
about to say,
pretty.
yeah, I bet you was bouncing off the
It was
walls.
a little lit. It was a
Yeah,
little lit. But then, I mean, even if we think about how the school day is structured,
yeah,
people are eating full on meals at like 9:30 a.m. It's,
that's
it's
true.
it's crazy to me. Crazy to me. So the school environment, what do our students need? Like, I know that it's broken. I know that the system needs our input. But Milwaukee, I'm interested to hear from you. What can we do? We cannot stand by and watch it happen. We can't watch our schools fall into total disrepair. We need some leadership. So what can we do? So I think about the health services that were there. I'll share a little bit about how this topic came to be for the show, school-based health. When I was in school, I used to get sick a lot around my women's health issues. That's the way I put it. And used to be like laid out. So I would get to the school nurse and she's like, there's your bucket, there's your blanket. You just rest there till you feel better. And I can remember my mom coming to school, pick me up. I could hear the little click clack of her heels coming down the hallway to come in and rescue me. So um, man, without school nurses, I probably I wouldn't have made it, y'all. Let me just put it that way. So now looking at the programming that Milwaukee is doing, and we're doing in partnership with some of these schools and hope to grow in 2025, I'm excited about it because that means some little kid like I was is going to get a little bit more care that they need to make it through. The other piece is I feel like there's a rise in the chronic conditions that these kids have. So, back in our day, it was like school nurses there to give you a couple Band-Aids, there to give you an ibuprofen, there to give you a Tylenol. But it's different when you have asthma, right? It's different when you have diabetes. It's different when you have all these chronic conditions, food allergies that every day is a little more challenging. So we'll talk about what we're doing in that space to make it better. And then the final piece is the mental health. Listen, if I can't imagine growing up in schools today. I can't even imagine with the pressure from social media, the pressure from your peers, the pressure from just doing well academically and having all of that ride on you. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if we could just give our kids a little bit more grace, give them a little bit more encouragement, I think that will be beneficial. So we'll talk about the mental health services that Outreach Community Health Centers is placing in these schools. So that's our topic for today, health in schools. One thing that I always start with is like, why should the people care, right? And I pulled up some data, pulled up some facts. Kids spend 6 to 7 hours a day at school, right? We know that. Schools have contact with 95% of the nation's young people from 5 to 17. So let me run that back. 95% of our kids from 5 to 17 right now are spending 6 to 7 hours in school. That means the people that they're surrounded by are in charge of their social, their psychological, their physical, and their intellectual development. So that got me thinking in this topic, who did you hang around in school and how did that play a role in your development? Now I think about myself and I like to think of myself as a social butterfly. I feel like I got along with everybody in high school. Shout out to Brown Deer High. I was tucked away out there in the burbs a little bit, 220 student.
Yeah.
But I feel like I got along with everybody. So the jocks, I played sports. The nerds, I was a nerd. Competed in DECA, so I loved marketing from a very, very young age. But I got a connection with everybody.
Yeah.
But I wonder those people who only hung around with those ones that might have enjoyed the devil's lettuce, as they like to say.
Lord Jesus.
Did some of the illicit things, were causing some drama and ruckus. I kind of wonder what they're into now and how that group affected.
Well, I can tell you from my point of view.
You weren't in that devil's lettuce.
Oh, I was in the devil's lettuce.
Lord.
But at the end of the day, man, I turned out to be pretty good.
Okay. And y'all better not be out there dropping dimes on me, okay? Hey, Milwaukee, don't do it. This is not the time nor the space.
Yeah. See, I went to Greenfield High School, so I was in the 220 program too.
Right.
So I know all about the 220 program.
Man.
And but yeah, I went out there so I can get an education. I wanted to graduate and make some of myself because the school that I was attending on the MPS side, I was fighting every day.
Same.
Fighting every day. So it was like, I'm like, my parents was like, nah, we send you to school to learn and not to, bust head to the white meat.
Yeah, look, because listen, and there's certain memories, you know, you don't realize the memories until there was a fight in I switched schools when I was in 5th grade. So I went 4th grade. There was a fight that was so bad. I mean, you ever like have to sit back and go, wow, that really happened to the white meat. That's and I remember my teacher at the time, I won't name names, but said they better not rip my pantyhose. And I just sat there like, she does not care if these kids kill each other in this class. She just doesn't want to rip her pantyhose. And that's when I knew something had to change. I mean, first off, teachers don't even wear pantyhose. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I think the kids you hang around with make a world of difference. So who do you think you would have been if you had still been in MPS, fights every day? Just
I already know. I mean, I already know. Probably would have been in jail. Either that or dead. I hate to say it, but it seems like that the school system is set up like a mini prison. So it's like when you walk through the hallways and then you walk through some of these detention centers, it looks just like the MPS school system.
And then, so then we get into the resource officers, the police officers that are in our schools. I had a conversation on a radio show not too long ago about that. I don't feel like there should be police officers in our schools.
Because it's already shaping up like a,
like
CO.
A prison.
Like a prison. So you got a CO over you, though you got a person that's kind of, I mean, even though security is needed in these schools because of the times that we're living in, it's a way to kind of do it without shaping the narrative of prison, or jail. You see what I'm saying?
Right. It feels like you set these kids up to be policed. That's what I said.
Institutionalized,
right? So you come to school and you start to think like, well, if I don't have someone always telling me what to do, I don't learn how to think for myself. I don't learn how to get myself. We had the gift of gab, right?
Of course.
Right. And I'm an only child. So people be like, I'm gonna go get my big sister. I'm like, you got to figure your way out of this one, smart girl. You have to get the bump in them guns. I'm like, you know what? Let's do some peace here. No, we don't really need to scrap, do we? We don't need to scrap. Let's go shoot it out. Let's play a quick game, a pickup game. Let's see who can touch that pole first, right? Like, let's not fight. So I've always been that peaceful person. At least I've tried. But man, these schools nowadays, the people that we're hanging out with, I think have an effect. So if you're rolling with the folks that are stealing cars and doing, the future does not look bright. The future does not look bright.
Yeah, that's true because birds of a feather, really do rock together, and whatever you hang around and promote, you pretty much endorse.
That's what you're gonna get. But then even that, I look at and it's not, they're not in a position to be funny, but I look at like there was a high-speed crash and the car crashed. I don't think the driver did well, but the passenger hopped out of the car and ran away. I'm like, so what kind of friends are y'all? Like, they don't even care if you're alive right now.
They not friends because it's all about themselves. So if I can get away and live to tell a testimony, then it goes to better you than me.
But you wrapped around the tree, and this was supposed to be your guy.
And we was all in the car just partying together. We was just kicking it in. You my guy, and you my homie, and then boom, I holler at you.
Right. Do they come to the hospital? I mean, I have so many questions. So figuring out how we can put our kids in the best situation. I know I had a conversation with my kid who's navigating her way in adulthood, early adulthood, and just the people that are around you should be life-giving, should be energy-giving. When you in that circle, you should feel a vibe. Even now, if it's always negative, it's always drama. It's always, I can't get into it, and you'll start receiving my calls less and less. So who you're connected with. So then we talk about music. I remember growing up, people would say, the music, all that rap music. Listen, to this day, I say this. I would not have passed biology class if it were not for Wu-Tang. I would
What
not
you know
have
about
passed. I
Wu-Tang?
would not have passed
Yeah.
anatomy and physiology if it wasn't for RZA. So thank you, RZA.
Ghostface and RZA, what you know? Girl,
Thank
talk
you,
to me.
Method Man, for
Yeah.
assisting me in the 36 chambers and being able to pass.
Well, that's
anatomy.
that's why I helped you pass. You was in love with
See?
Method Man.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm telling you what it is. I know what it is.
I cannot tell a lie. I can't.
You
I
was in love with
can't.
Method.
I'm like, now who is this Takal? Who is this person? And why are
wow.
his? Yeah. I mean, listen, rap gave us Wu-Tang, it gave us Tupac, Brilliant Mind. I even went back in the archives. Brenda's Got a Baby.
What you know?
That kept us from the teen
Yeah.
pregnancy. That
Yeah,
was the whole
sure
thing
did.
back in the 80s.
Sure did.
Kept us from the devil's lettuce, most times.
I'm out of this
Most times,
conversation.
right? We were knitting blankets for orphan children. We were that's what we were doing. I don't know what y'all were doing.
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Rap battles and knitting blankets for orphan children.
Mhm.
So the music, but now I can't even make out what they're saying. It's
Listen here, man.
It's a mumbo jumbo. What are you saying?
Not only that, but now back in our day, we had a rapper that used to rap off beat by the name of Silk the Shocker.
I do recall Mr. Silk.
And so we used to be like,
Shocker.
this dude is trash. Like, he ain't even on beat. So nowadays,
But then you had, I mean, the on beat, off beat. You had Twister. You had,
yeah.
You
See,
had Mystical.
what Twister and Mystical, they still stayed into the beat pattern. So if the beat was like this,
right.
they would kind of triple up on their flows, but they still stayed in the beat pattern. Nowadays,
It's just you
shooter like Steve Blake. What?
I don't understand it, and I really want to understand it because I want to be a part of the
Nah,
culture.
it's
I want to
over.
feel it. I want to be able to promote it. But
It's
I don't
over.
understand it. And then and maybe I'm looking at it through rose-colored glasses because it's in the past now. But I can't even tell the difference between the mumble rappers. Like you knew the difference between an Ice Cube and a
It's
Tupac
over.
and a this. and a that.
Everybody's the same.
I don't. Everybody has the red or the blonde hair with the locks, with the glasses, and do we have grills or do we not? I'm confused. I want to understand it.
Well, now I think I kind of feel like how our parents felt.
And that makes me
Yeah, you know, right? That's why I'm like, oh man.
I'm like, turn down that jibber
Look at that
jabber.
jibber jabber, that gibberish. What is that? Yeah, baka 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 music.
Turn
Like
down
what?
That jibber jabber. I can't even. Yeah, it just fussing.
Yeah.
So, if my mom was listening, shout out to mom. I've turned into you. And that's what it is. Because I'm like, turn down all that racket and that. They just can't even understand. And what do concerts look like? I mean, concerts are like just bopping on the stage and nobody understands. They, in fact, and I'm gonna bring this full circle. Method Man and Redman were out on tour, Summer Jam. I want to say it was this past summer, and they said they're never doing that again because it's a totally different audience. I'm like, y'all broke Method Man. That's what y'all did. I blame y'all.
Well, that's because that culture of people, they don't understand our music like that. So it's like that we look. So if we're in their shoes, that we put ourselves in their shoes, it'll be like bringing out like a Curtis Blow or like one of the older rappers.
True.
You know what I mean?
Kate, you know who needs to come back to the fore? KRS-One.
Come on now.
Kate, like bring him. We need to
KRS-One,
start honoring those legends.
Yeah.
KRS-One is ridiculous with
Man,
this. So I
listen,
need.
man, I like your
I need-
knowledge.
you know,
Man. Listen here,
I
man.
would not have got through school without rap.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. That's just me. But now listen, I do enjoy some pop music as well. So because I did go to Brown Deer, you will get those rocker. I do also love Matchbox 20. I'm just saying, it just.
I mean,
it
I
is.
like Nevada.
It is. Right?
You know, Team Spirit.
It is what it is. Did y'all have the what we call them Y dances? They were dances at the Y.
Oh yeah.
Y'all had those
Friday
too.
nights.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So those are I feel like the experiences that these kids are missing.
Oh yeah.
Even with something like the playgrounds.
Yeah.
And we want these kids to be physical.
Yeah.
I used to love gym class. Low key,
Yeah,
I used to love gym class. You get out, you get active. And it just feels like nowadays it's cool not to be active, not to be fit. You don't want to participate. Me and my people, We love gym class. And you could really get it in basketball.
Yeah.
I loved football. You could get it in I am a punting champion. I'm a punting champion. So put me in, coach.
Listen,
You could
right.
get it in badminton. Okay.
Oh,
Like
hey, tennis was my thing, man. Tennis, volleyball, basketball,
you could
football.
get it.
You know, I played baseball until I got hit with the ball.
See, you gotta step into it.
I did. I stepped into it and left off the field. I'm out of here.
You gotta step in. So I say shout out to all the gym teachers. We had some fly ones, and I still remember. Just kept it active. So those are the things for me that made it fun to go to school. The teachers that cared. When I got to Brown Deer, phenomenal teachers, phenomenal. My orchestra, shout out to them. I was thinking about all this the other day and just how people that care and show up every day matter. And that's what we got to get back to in school. So we're going to take a quick break, right?
Yes,
Right. All right. So when we come back, we will talk more pop culture, more health in our schools, and how we can fix it, Milwaukee. You're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement. Y'all, if y'all could be a fly on the wall in these breaks, just good fun, just good conversation. You know, part of growing up as a kid, and I love documentaries, so the Scared Straight pieces had just started coming on at the time. And I would watch the Scared Straight. You know, when I decided stay on the right path, do the right thing, there's something they serve called veggie loaf.
Oh yeah.
And the veggie loaf is like recycled everything pressed into like one little bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? If that's what I would have to eat, let me just pipe down. Let me pipe down. When I get upset, I think about it.
Eat your cornbread.
Get your hand on me. Okay? I know it's not for me. So sometimes when I'm a little heated, a little elevated, I'm like, veggie loaf. You can't do. And I'm like, you know what? Peace. Because I can't do it. So maybe if you're listening out there and you're on the edge, these folks are trying you today, just think, can you do veggie loaf?
No, or you can just tell them, go to the bathroom, close the door, stand there for like forever. And then whenever you get tired, that's when you know that's what it's like being locked up.
Yeah. So we got to do better with illustrating, because for a while there, getting locked up was cool. That was a part of pop culture. It was like, if you don't have a record, we don't really trust you. But listen, I like being able to eat when I want to eat,
I like
sleep when I want to sleep, like go out and do the things. So, and then veggie loaf. So I know I'm not built for it. So do the right thing. Scared Straight. Talk back to me, Milwaukee, this morning, 414-444-5250 to connect, talk things, health, school, pop culture. So we were talking about how the people who you're connected to make a difference. But I also think like taking care of each other as kids coming up with the asthma, with diabetes, with food allergies. Like food allergies weren't a real big thing for us in school. Like I can't remember a ton of kids having allergies. It feels like everybody has allergies now. And we just got to be respectful of that, because what's easy for me to eat could actually kill somebody else. So just being respectful. We do need to start thinking about flu shots. So I've been on my soapbox about that. And the COVID shot. Listen, we don't want to hear the excuses. We don't care. We don't care what you think about the medicine or how it's a conspiracy, whatever. Get the shot. Get the shot, because I don't want the sneezing and the coughing on me. I don't want, oh Lord, okay, come on, give me your thought process on why not. Why not?
I'm just listening.
Why no, I gotta hear it. Give because if you're thinking it, I can guarantee other folks are thinking it.
It's a whole heap of us.
So why no COVID shot? I know it's like, where to begin? Unleash the scroll.
Do you really want the
for real
truth from me, or do you want the?
No, I want the for real.
All right.
For real.
Since you want it, I'm gonna give it to you.
I want you to get for real.
Why?
You like, where to begin?
Yeah, because I want to be very, very, very cautious with what I say over
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So that's why.
But it's being real.
But it's
so
being
I think
real.
This show is you gotta.
Okay, you want it?
I want
I'm
it.
gonna give it to
I
you.
want it. You
Well, I
get.
trust me. That's it. That's what I trust. No, to be honest with you, with the COVID shot, is COVID in the shot. So why would I?
Ooh. Okay.
Why would I? Why would I have you give me something I don't have?
True. I get that.
See what I'm saying? And the whole spiel when they first introduced this COVID shot was to keep you from getting COVID.
Right. All right.
And I know people that got COVID, and then it was worse.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I want you to give me something I don't have?
Yeah, I can see that. See what
I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I did the research for the COVID shot and found out that there's bits and part of COVID in the shot.
It is.
So that's telling me that COVID is man-made because you got the patent for it.
Ooh.
So I mean, that's why I was being real cautious because I've done my homework on this thing.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's like with the flu shot. Why would I want the flu shot? You giving me the flu.
Because here,
so your body can get used to it and whatever. But I would rather take me some cod liver oil, go back to what mama them used to do, and with all of that, I was good. Black seed oil, I'm good.
A little water hose water.
I mean,
wash it all.
Come on, but you was good. I mean, listen, that cod liver oil that made you run, turn pink, green, black.
That is probably the most disgusting.
It is, but your immune system was great. Now
I'm gonna say yes and no.
Well, for me, when I took cod liver oil, but nowadays, things are different.
Shot. No.
For me, I'm cool on the COVID shot.
Okay.
I mean, I would rather see it on TV than see it in person.
Oh man.
So
but know that it has been studied, and I think I'm reading this book now. It's called "Song of the Cell."
Okay.
And it talks about just breaking down at the cellular level how we're made, how we're built, and then these immunizations, these vaccinations, how they actually work. So it does attach to and teach your body how to make. So they are giving it to you. I will say that it is in a very weak, very small dose to get your body to react.
But I'm gonna tell you this, and this is what really knocked me off of everything. Since we having the conversation and you want me to
keeping
be real,
it all the way real.
All right. I saw a video of Bill Gates saying, if you wanted to depopulate, do it through vaccination.
Ooh. Or lack thereof. See, now I look at it the other way. I look at it, I say, here's the thing that they've studied. They have a solution. And certain people will decide not to go with that solution. Those people will face adverse effects. They will get COVID. So you remember it switched in the beginning. COVID came. We were like, oh, Black people are superpowered. We do not get COVID. We don't, right? Because that was a whole thing. And it was like, oh, wait, we are more susceptible to COVID. So I look at it just like breast cancer. They're really the same. They both attack on the cellular level. Is once it hits, your body is replicating whatever that disease is, right? So cancer affects Black women more than it does white women. That's just we haven't figured out why, but it does. So we can't say the same thing we would say about COVID about cancer.
Well, because cancer is not in the air.
It's not.
Cancer is not in the air. Cancer,
So when you think if we go hard about cancer, wouldn't we do the same about something that is in the air and we could like suppress? We're not saying that we're eradicate. It's gone. We're saying we can bring the levels down. We get less sick.
So you mean to tell me that if I give it to you, you're gonna get less sick?
Yes.
Man, please.
Who do you know anybody with polio?
No, I don't.
You know why? Because you got that vaccination before you were even old enough to know that you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get it.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I got to see the records. I got to see the records.
No.
Zebo, bring in the records.
I can call my mama right now and she would tell you
that you did.
That I didn't.
Ooh,
she didn't get
how
none
you
of her
get through
kids
school
like
back in the day then?
I mean, we got the flu shot
Okay.
back then.
Okay.
Um,
No chicken pox. No nothing.
chicken. I never had
Lord.
chicken pox. Never had.
I've never had chicken pox either. Well, I never had chicken pox. They actually didn't have a vaccine back in the day. They for chicken pox. Well, maybe they did. No, they didn't.
They did.
And I used to want it so bad.
Chicken
I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
because I used to see people.
Yeah, you
at
get to
school
say,
get all
oh,
these
you get
bugs
it.
and bugs on them.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I
Now
want
they
it.
got monkeypox.
No.
So it went from chicken to monkey. Now it's gonna be mad cowpox. Like, what is going on? It's just stuff being created.
All the animals get their turn.
Come on, man. Lion pox. Like, come on, man. Something wrong, man.
If you see me and the lion and we are fighting,
Right.
you help the lion.
Right.
You help the lion.
Wow, pox. Like, come on, man. Meow pox. And come on, man. Something is going on here. I don't care what nobody.
I mean, I agree with you. I do know that they're looking for cures. So in order for them to look for cures, they do have to create diseases, right? So I get that. But man, I
mean, think about it.
I get
You know, it
it.
was chicken
get
pox when we was coming up.
Lion pox.
And now
Right, I
I
got it
got
right.
monkey.
Rawr.
Then it's gonna raw pox. Come
Look,
on, man.
I can hear my chief medical officer. She is shaking her head somewhere. She is like, "What is even happening right now?" I can hear. I got you, Dr. Mubanga. I'm a clean it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Clean it up. So it looks like we have a caller. Caller, greetings and good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
How are you today?
Blessed, joyful, grateful in the Lord. Thank you, Miss Ebony, for taking my call. Good morning.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Mr. Carvey. Good morning, Mr. Rideout.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. Yeah, a couple different things there. You know, I mean, we have to be very careful. I agree with Rideout on, you know, it's an individual, you know, I mean, the main, you know, what you got to do if you're washing your hands and your hygiene and everything is, you know, kept pretty much up to date, and up to par and everything, you know, keeping your mouth healthy and everything, because, you know, you're off to a good start there. You know, we're, you know, we've got, you know, we've got enzymes and viruses in our body, you know,
This is
like
true.
in our bowels and stuff
This
like
is
that
true.
to help break down things that we digest and everything. So, you know, this time of year, well, I do lemonade pretty much, lemonade and tea year round.
Okay. You put a little ginger in it?
Excuse me?
A little ginger?
Yeah, at times.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
yep. Yeah,
Okay.
my mother as well. Yeah, ginger, you know, her ginger snaps and her little ginger,
Okay.
you know, Mohawk sippy, you know, ginger brandy. Yep. I'm telling on her.
It's all good, Mom.
Love you, Mama.
We all do
Yep. But I mean, you know, but it's a much bigger picture than that, you know. I mean, because a couple of things I want to run by you here.
Okay.
The different the different formulas in the gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go from summer to winter formulas. I mean, you know, what is that they're ingesting in the air?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, plus on top of that, then if you ever been to an airport, you know what jet fuel smells like.
Mm-hmm.
It's different smell from diesel. You know, I think diesel kind of smells even kind of sweet. You know.
Now I have a diesel car. My car takes diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of this gasoline just plain stinks. You know.
True.
I think diesel has a sweet smell to it. You know. So even though it's got its pollutants in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're barbecuing with your charcoal starter, your charcoal starter smells more like jet fuel than it even does diesel or anything else.
Yeah.
Now, when next time you start your charcoals, just your fresh start, your charcoals. Think about that. Think about that smell, and then being at an airport, it smells more like jet fuel.
Well, here's the thing with that. That is a chemical. Now,
well, absolutely.
Now, but it is gasoline. I mean, your fire starter is a refinement of a petroleum.
Right.
So it's no different than a kerosene. It's no different than a gasoline.
Right.
It's
absolutely.
the same thing. It's creating and burning that is putting carcinogens in your body. Like that.
Well,
that's fact.
Yep. To a degree. Yep. To a degree. I mean, some of that burns off. You know, by the time your meat is complete and finished, the majority of that has burnt off.
No, I need a little char on my meat. It got to be a little bit burnt on the backside. That's
well, yeah. No. I'm not disputing that. I mean, because I love a nice, good charcoal flame. You know, you know. But even with that, I guess what I'm saying is, you know, even with, you know, before you get into the thick of, the thick of the meat and the barbecue and cooking.
Mm-hmm.
When you first start out there, that smell actually smells like
Like
airport or jet fuel, actual plain jet fuel. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think chemically it's much different. So I'm 100% agreeing with you.
Right.
And we've decided collectively that it's easier for me to make a fire that way than to give me some sticks and
the wood,
and put it over that way.
And I would do that at times. I was as the blaze goes on, I will sprinkle my store-bought, wood particles on there. They've got different flavors for it, hickory and maple and different things like that to enhance your flame there, and that gets your flame much hotter then.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be out there rubbing sticks together, and that's probably why you won't get a hot dog out of my grill.
Well, winter's coming up, so we got to do something that's gonna work. Love you, sweetheart.
Same
Thank you
here.
guys. Great day and wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Same to you. No, I'm feeling that, and that's the energy we need. We do need to question everything. So let me just say, I totally respect that. We have to look at things and figure out, does this make sense? Who has a vested interest? That's the other thing. Who has a vested interest in this thing, either working out or not working out? If we've got these medical companies and they're making money, but folks are dying behind it, then we have an issue. But I don't know. I feel like vaccinations do more good than anything. I know. Then you got the arguments of, do these vaccinations cause these issues and deformities and maladies? There we go. I'm out with the coffee, y'all. I told y'all I'm hurting. My brain is like, please keep up, please.
Oh man, brew it.
Look, Starbucks. If my besties are listening, go on and put that mobile order in at about 20 to 9. You already know what it is. Tell me where to go pick it up. But yes, now that's a chemical too, though. So people talk about caffeine.
Yeah.
I see the babies drinking sodas at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And that's
6 o'clock.
That's crazy to me because just what soda does to the body, just all the color dye that's in it, and
Now look, I do love a good Coca-Cola though. I do love a good Mountain Dew.
Man, I used to be a Mountain Dew lover. I used to drink 2 liters like crazy. Look. And then, my sides start hurting and I'm
my kidneys.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
So I will occasionally drink a Coke. I usually only have the bottles when I go to a local fast food Mexican place. So my daughter will be like, "Oh, I could tell where you had lunch today. You got a Coca-Cola in a bottle." And it's always a plastic bottle. That's what she said, right? So just making these choices. I mean, school lunches, when we get into that, I always joke. So MPS, you can remember this, the mock chicken leg.
Oh, what? Mock chicken leg?
Okay,
fries.
Wait, before I say it, are you pro mock chicken leg or anti?
No, I mean, I'm pro mock chicken legs because of
Devo, you said you definitely pro.
I'm pro mock chicken leg.
Those things are disgusting.
They are. No. I mean, back in the day, I used to like them, but now that I'm older, I'm like, dude, what was we eating?
Why is there gravy on it? Oh, why? Wait, it's a chicken.
It was like this thing that was shaped like.
And they sell them. Shout out to Pick and Save for selling mock chicken leg.
What was that shape though? It was like a.
It was supposed to be like a chicken leg.
It was like it was shaped funny or something.
I used to call. They look like little feet. Like when the baby, when they put the baby's foot on the birth certificate.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
on
my
the picture.
That's what mock chicken leg looks like to me. Exactly. So I could never get into it.
Exactly.
I've joked on this show before when I moved to that suburban school. I'm like, oh, y'all have a toppings bar. So we have a chicken patty, and then you go over to the toppings bar. You put your mayo and your lettuce and your tomatoes and your. So nutrition is half the battle.
See, but you know what? Some kids that's in the MPS system. Well, I'm gonna go back from when I was in school. Okay. That was an MPS system, and we was in 220 system,
Mhm,
they
mhm.
didn't get the stuff that we was able to get and see the stuff we was able to
Right,
see when it came to lunchtime, because
right.
we had the salad bars,
Salad.
we had the
Listen,
dessert bars,
you might
and
have a taco bar depending on
yeah,
like, right. We had a pasta, so
yeah,
ours was spaghetti. They would
yeah,
give you the noodles, then you could figure out what kind of meat you wanted or meat
yeah,
sauce or
yeah,
what you wanted on it. You want cheese,
yeah,
sprinkle your cheese.
yeah,
So even the food in the different
yeah,
school systems
yeah.
is
It's
it's not
totally different.
fair.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
fair.
fair.
So those kids that's in the MPS system, they grow up seeing what they see and think that that's the norm,
Yeah, yeah,
compared to the kids that's out there that
yeah,
see all of this extravagant stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that starts your mind frame right there
yeah.
into, you know,
Yeah, yeah. That's where the diabetes comes in. That's
yeah,
where the
yeah,
heart conditions come in,
yeah,
because you are, for what was my statistic? From 5 to 17 years, 95% of our nation is in school 6 to 7 hours a day. So
wow,
for 6 to 7 hours a day, they're eating chips and soda. And I'm not saying ban it, because I think that's foolish. But explaining how your brain works better when you've had vegetables. Your brain works better um when you have access to water. That's documented. So then where do we draw the line in science between, we know these things are healthy for us.
yeah,
We know these things are needed to learn.
yeah,
How do we make sure they get into school? How do we make sure we're put our money up,
yeah,
right? Cuz I can guarantee you this. Brown Deer School District is not allowing you to go to that vending machine in the morning if it's not by rules and regulations of the school. It's gonna be by social pressure. Like, brother, what is that? What is that, brother? What are you eating this morning? Why? Where's the fruit? Where are the vegetables? So I don't see it happening. We got to get better. So in the 8 o'clock hour, we will have our school-based care coordinator who manages our primary care services in Carmen schools and in the Hmong American Peace Academy, with some exciting updates for where we're going in 2025. And she also runs our mobile health unit. So we'll get into what it looks like when you take mobile health and you put it in communities where it's needed. How do we teach kids how to help themselves? How do we teach kids how to invest in their health? How do we teach kids how to keep themselves well, whether that's physically, whether that's mentally, whether that's what they're eating? How do we then tell them you have to go to the doctor once a year? You may feel perfectly healthy, but there's some things that could be happening under the radar. How do we get young people to get these immunizations? I'm gonna stay on us because it's neat. I know, but it keeps us healthy. And especially us, if you look at it from an economic standpoint, we can't be out of work. Like, we don't have these illustrious sick packages where we can go off and be, sick for 2 weeks. And it is my friends, I like to say when I get sick, oh, I'm at home, I'm convalescing. They're like, you what now? You doing what? No, I'm at home, I'm resting and I'm convalescing in my robe and I'm getting better. We don't get that luxury. It's like, if you're not at work for 2 days, you might be looking for a new job. So I look at it from that standpoint. We're keeping our community healthy so we can go out and do the things we need to do. So just taking care of us, taking care of our babies, the things I want to see. Where does outreach community health centers fit into this equation? So we have this conversation often. That's why I was ready for the smoke. I was ready for you to say what I've heard it all. People are like, where do y'all get y'all vaccinations from? It's folks putting all kinds of stuff. How do we know that y'all, once you get the vaccination, you're not putting extra stuff in it? We hear it all. Yeah. But ultimately, our goal is to make sure that folks are healthy. So we're doing everything above board by the law, and just keeping that together. So we are going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we will meet Callie, our school-based care coordinator. We'll talk about where outreach fits and what we're actually doing in those schools when we're there and when we're there. and what you can do to make sure our babies stay healthy. You're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I'm Ebony Sally. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. I am Ebony Sally, and we are in here today talking school-based primary care, our mobile health unit, what it was like growing up in these schools and trying to stay healthy. And then what we need to do as a community to get these babies. I'm gonna call them babies until the end of me, because they are our babies, and we need to start treating them with that care. So what they need to be healthy in schools, what they need to be able to graduate and then take care of themselves as adults. So we have talked everything from food to the music to the community of kids that they're around. We need more big mamas. That's what I'm gonna say too. We need more people watching on the block. I was a latchkey kid. I talked to my mom about this maybe a couple weeks back. The stress of being a latchkey kid. So if you don't know, latchkey term means that you are at home during the day after your parents have left. So mom will get up, go to work, dad will get up and go to work, and then I'm at home for 30 minutes or an hour before I had to leave to go to school in walking distance. So I grew up in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. That was home. There was one of the courts, we'll talk about this in just a little bit, that I never knew the official name of this basketball court. I was like, the who park? No, that's Lincoln. We're going to Lincoln the Hoop, and that's what it is. But there is an actual name for the park. But that's the neighborhood I grew up in. And in a full circle moment, I was on a conference call yesterday about some initiatives that Outreach is doing. And they mentioned the Ascension Hospital that's over there. I knew it as St. Michael's. And St. Michael's treated many a sprained ankle back in the day, because I did a little bit with the rock. I did a little bit but I might have broken my own ankles every now and then trying to shake somebody else. So the healthcare was there, the school environment was there, the neighborhood environment was there. But I remember growing up as a latchkey kid, I didn't realize how many people from the neighborhood had eyes on me to make sure that I was okay, right? Both of my parents remarried when I was younger. So, I would come in the winter and I would be a young girl at home by herself. So my mom used to say, well, when you walk in the house, drag your feet so they don't see little baby shoes coming up to the door. You want to seem like it's an adult going in the door, and try to, step in the snow so you don't make a pattern, just one track going up to the door. But I didn't know that my neighbor next door was watching out and just making sure that I was good. And my neighbors across the street from me also were watching out, and their kids, who were like my brothers, were watching out. That's the community that we need. And to get back to that, I think what we're going to need is all of us to step up and step in, but also the youth need to listen. Y'all need to listen. We are saying it out of love. We're saying it out of respect. We're saying it out of wanting you to be better. Right? So if Big Sis Ebony says, yeah, I don't think y'all should be hanging out on the corner like that, it's not that I'm trying to take the fun away. It's that you're a target. So if it's a crew that doesn't like you, you're standing out on the corner. They know exactly where you are. If it's police doing a patrol, they might not have anything else to do that day except see why you standing on your corner. And I know it's supposed to be a free country and all that. I'm not even going to get down that road. But why you're standing there, or why you're not doing something else. So we're trying, y'all. We're trying to give some encouragement, give some education, but we know what that looks like. We understand, and I don't even know if they do this still, but we would sit on the mailboxes and chop it up. We would, right. Well, I said I need to go and do a photo shoot. Do you remember the little pose where the police phones are? What goes in there now? Nothing. Now look, can I be a nerd for 2 seconds? Let me just be a nerd for 2 seconds. Here's my recommendation. Those police phones and pay phones. Remember pay phones?
Yeah.
Pay phones.
I remember there used to be one right across the street.
Why don't we put phone chargers? That's right?
a good idea.
Wi-Fi
charging ports
in those spaces. Go and throw a quarter in there. Charge your phone up for 5 minutes.
That's crazy. I never thought about that.
Run me my money.
Hey.
Run me my money.
You got my vote.
You're going to take the vaccination. It'll be a vaccination box.
You get they be like, they done bamboozled me. They pulling wool over
we
my
ain't
eyes.
laying up looking right. No. That's kind of what we need, though. We need that innovative thinking. So I always look at payphones and I think to myself, why don't we just like refurbish that, make that a Wi-Fi, make that a connection.
Wi-Fi station.
Right. Yeah. Plug in your phone or get some juice. Come on in. So those are the things our neighborhood needs. And just getting that together, get organized, all of that fun stuff. So in a couple moments, we'll let her get situated. We're going to have some fun with Callie. Callie is our school-based primary care and mobile health unit coordinator. I'll read her bio in just a sec. But really speaking to what we're doing today in schools, what that's going to look like in the future. One thing I really respect about Outreach is we've looked at the conditions, we've looked at the issues, and then we've said, okay, now what can we do about it? Rather than harping on it, rather than saying, well, there's nothing we can do. That's somebody else's problem. We are looking those problems in the eye and then programming around it. So let me read her bio, and then y'all can get introduced to another great person that's over at Outreach Community Health Centers. So Callie Doherty is our mobile, medical, and school-based clinics manager who joined Outreach Community Health Centers in May of 2024. She's a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee with her undergraduate degrees in criminal justice and religious studies. She went on to earn her master's degree in public administration from Norwich University. Her professional career has focused on the most vulnerable populations in Milwaukee, supporting individuals who are homeless, experiencing domestic violence, those experiencing issues with addiction, and a variety of other needs. In addition to her work professionally, she has also done advocacy work for the past 9 years at the local, state, and federal levels for policies around poverty, food insecurity, maternal leave, and tax credits for the most vulnerable. She is passionate about ensuring that all individuals have access to affordable and necessary healthcare services. And since taking on her role with Outreach, her goal has been to increase partnerships and the number of patients seen by the programs she oversees. So welcome, Callie, to Community Heartbeat. I'm excited to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we've been talking all morning about what school has been like, the role of the school nurse and how they're out here saving lives, and just giving you some of that encouragement. We've been talking about the they used to call them cliques or crews, or the community that you make in your school. And then where we're going is outreach in the next couple years. So first off, we heard your bio, but just tell me a little bit about the role that you have at Outreach. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So in my role, as you mentioned, I oversee both our mobile medical and our school-based clinics. And coming into it, this is a newer program. So I've just been really working on structure and what we can do to improve and really make sure that we're seeing individuals at the sites that we're going to and really meeting their needs. We're there, but are we doing what they want us to do? Are we offering the services that they're looking for? So just been really trying to engage the parents and the students and also the individuals at the sites that we go to make sure that we're meeting the needs that they're asking for.
So the schools that we're in, Carmen and Hoppa, just give me an idea of the communities that are at both of those schools. So what kind of communities are you seeing at Carmen? What kind of communities see at Hoppa?
So both of those schools are located on the northwest side of the city. Carmen Northwest is primarily an African-American based school. And HAPA stands for Hmong American Peace Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So those sites are very specific in their cultural needs, which is how we decided to partner with the physicians that we have at each of those sites.
Okay. And are there any specific conditions that you're seeing? So we talked super briefly about like the chronic conditions, the asthmas, the diabetes, the epilepsy, the issues that people are having at school. So they might have a seizure at school. They might have. What are you seeing at those schools that are kind of the regular, if there's a such thing?
Yeah. So we started out at the schools because one of the students had an issue with asthma, and there was a lot of concern about the education around that and how they can get those services in place. Fortunately, most days it's just basic health questions. It's that time of year right now. We're seeing a lot of students for sports physicals, trying to get them ready for their activities through the year. And right now we're getting ready for flu and cold season. So we're getting all of the COVID tests and the flu tests.
Flu shots.
Yeah, flu shots. Absolutely. Getting everything ready for the students and the staff so we can have a healthy school year.
Yeah, definitely makes a difference. And I'm hopeful that we'll have some information we can post for not only the parents in those schools, but also some immunization clinics that Outreach will be doing. So you mentioned we came into those schools because of episodes with asthma. What it sounds like, are there gaps in care? So what I'm guessing, if I had to put my finger on it, people in schools, parents, families, don't have the kind of insurances that they might have previously. So they're missing that care with a primary care provider. Do you think that's true? Do you think there's like gaps in people who have coverage and that's why they're not making plans for these conditions?
Yeah, I think it's a couple different things. Definitely a lack of insurance, concerns about transportation,
Mm.
and then also like some mistrust in the healthcare system. Like not everybody's had a good experience.
Mhm.
So we're just really working to meet the students and the families where they are to be able to take away those barriers from them. So if they don't have insurance, we offer a sliding scale fee.
Mhm.
And we work on building the rapport with the students so they're not just coming in overwhelmed because something's wrong. We're there at other school events throughout the year. We're there so that they can come and talk to us and ask questions and have a relationship with their provider other than something's wrong. I need to talk to you right now about this.
Makes sense. Like again, like that was my experiences growing up. We're talking school-based care. So talk back to us, Milwaukee. 414-444-5250 is the number to call and connect. Are we seeing, because we're in those schools, so one is predominantly African American, one is predominantly Hmong, are you seeing any particular conditions in those schools that maybe aren't as active in other places?
There's more focus on each school. So, for example, Carmen, they really want us to focus on vaping. A large number of their students vape, and they really want us to focus on education around that and how they can be healthier and safe with those things and hopefully quit.
Yeah.
And with HAPA, we really focus on we partner with our behavioral health team as well as our primary care team, and the behavioral health has really taken off there, just supporting the needs of the students.
So I'll take each one of these in turn. We have the vaping piece, where people, our students, do you find, are they vaping because it's the cool thing to do? Are they vaping because they're addicted to the nicotine? Is it a little bit of both?
Probably a little bit of both. I know when I was their age, it was a little bit of both.
You weren't out there smoking the devil's lettuce. We were talking about that earlier. I'm like, if you went to high school with me, I do not need your input right now. Hop out of the chat. I was an angel. What did I say? Right? Crocheting blankets for orphan babies.
Yes.
But
and you still do.
Right, of course. So it's right, she did. She dropped that like, and you're still up to the same shenanigans, which may or may not be true, allegedly. But the vaping piece, you got the kids. Do they kind of know, or is that part of the education, how much different vaping is? I mean, like that's putting. I watched a documentary, y'all. Y'all know y'all big sister, little sister is gonna have a documentary on deck. It's about Juul, the Juul company, and some of the tactics that they use to get that out. But it's basically cooking your lungs.
Absolutely.
So if you got a kid, show them that documentary. It's vaping is cooking your lungs. Like there's no other way to put it. And then the behavioral health piece, right? So why do you think that is so important at a school like HAPA?
I just would think culturally, it's not something that's really talked about. And so by offering those students that access where they already are and having that private conversation with parents and being able to have them access that without having to go outside of school and have people know about that is a really important piece.
I agree. I toured the sites a few times, but the one thing I think is like, I wish I would have made therapy a more important part of my life in high school, because it's really talking through and figuring out and knowing that, first off, you're not alone. Okay. So these issues that you think you got that are so, I mean, as a teenager, they're soul crushing, right? You're like, oh, he don't love me. Oh my God.
They're not my friends
right?
anymore.
They won't talk to me.
Yeah.
My soul is crushed. Then you realize, listen, when you graduate, you might talk to 2 or 3 of these people
ever again in your life.
Right. So it's not, but just being able to walk through that process with a professional is important.
So much change during that time. You have so many different responsibilities. Your hormones are changing. Like there's so much happening for you, and you're expected to have adult responses to things when you're still a kid.
Yes, you're still a kid. So I mean, again, I think outreach is really in the community doing the work. So I'm proud of that. You mentioned too the cultural competency. So the fact, we talk a lot on this show about if you are African American, the difference that an African American doctor will make. If you are a woman, the difference having a female physician. And we call that kind of that cultural competent care. So how does that relate to what you're doing in the schools?
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. So at each school, we have a provider that is the same ethnicity and from the same background as our students, both the provider and our medical assistant. to make sure that, it's really important when you go somewhere to get help, you want someone that looks like you. You want to feel comfortable and you want to feel safe talking to that person. And you're more likely to feel that from someone that you feel like could be someone that in your personal life. We've really seen such a difference even in changing RMA last year at HAPA to someone of Hmong descent. There's been more engagement from the students.
So walking in, seeing somebody that looks like you, being able to align with that, how do you think that helps people? Because here's what I know for sure. I know that these clinics don't provide all the services that outreach does at the clinic. So how does that maybe push people or nudge them to think about their health overall? Like, don't just stop here at the school. Like, we want
We're
you
only
to
there a limited time. You got to see us more than that.
How do we do that?
So what's really nice is when people see our physicians in the community, if they make an appointment at our clinic, it's that same physician. You don't just see, for example, Dr. DeWaters at a mobile health site and then have to see somebody else when you come in. You get to see your same provider.
So you got that consistency.
Exactly. Or if you started out with them in the community, now you see them at the clinic, but you're like, you know what? It's really hard for me to get to the clinic. I can only see you here. They can just see you there and get those needs met. There are not always the same services available because we are limited in our school and mobile unit with what we can provide. And so therefore, sometimes we would need people to come in.
I love it. I love it. So you mentioned the mobile health unit, which again is another component that I love. So it's in the schools, it's the primary care, the behavioral health is in the schools. Tell me a little bit about the mobile health unit.
Yeah, the mobile health unit is really just bringing providers to where people are at. So currently we partner with couple different homeless shelters as well as treatment centers throughout Milwaukee. We've been running the mobile unit for about 2 years now, and it's been, slowly growing our services. And we really try to do the same things that we're doing in the schools. We're trying to build that rapport with the community, identify the most vulnerable individuals that are not accessing the care that they need so that they can make sure to, I'm here because I need my treatment today, and I'm also being able to see the doctor for this wound that I have or this other condition that I'm concerned about.
Like, what is this rash? I always say that. Like, what is this rash?
We get that a lot.
Right. So even thinking about what is available on the mobile health unit, I'm assuming it doesn't have everything. So what kind of services do you provide on that unit?
Yeah, so going on the mobile health unit is really almost anything you can do if you're scheduling an appointment at your primary care doctor, just for a regular office visit. We're working on getting the flu and COVID screenings for the fall. We're going to be starting a vaccine partnership so we can address those things right on site for individuals. Wound care, look at your rash,
right?
Your prescription.
What is this rash?
Exactly.
Did you say prescriptions?
Yeah.
So you can connect with the pharmacy.
Yes. I can do that right from the unit, so they don't have to go anywhere except for to talk to their provider and then straight to the pharmacy to pick up.
I love it. And there's an actual exam room on the unit, right?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes, the exam room we have. It's a drivable.
It's a mobile health unit.
Exactly. It's a drivable doctor's office. You have access to all of their medical files, everything that you need. We can even do EKGs on the unit.
I love it. And you said that's been out in the community about 2 years.
Right.
And when someone sees the mobile health unit, can they just walk up to it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So the sites that we have are, for vulnerable populations. So we don't generally advertise the sites that we go to right now. We are working to expand those to be able to serve a higher population. But right now, if you see the mobile health unit out and you're like, you know what, I have a question about this rash. Exactly, this rash.
And walk up and
you come up and talk to us. We're always happy to answer questions. And if you don't have insurance and you just want to ask a question, that's okay. If you don't want to be seen, the providers are there to help. So
I like that. So in terms of the mobile health unit going out, you mentioned that it's going into vulnerable communities. So I know that there are some sites that we don't share out, but for the most part, can people request? So if I'm a company, I'm a business, I'm an organization that serves a vulnerable population, I'm listening to the show, and I say, I want the mobile health unit to come by me. How do I get that done?
Yeah, absolutely. We accept requests for the mobile health unit to stop by we're working on staff and different things right now, so we can't do ongoing stops. But if there's a health event you have or something coming up, because our providers, like I mentioned, work both in the clinic and on the unit, they're real busy. So we need a little bit of time. But if you give us at least 6 to 8 weeks notice, we do our best to accommodate any requests for additional stops for the unit.
I love it. I love it. Should we take a quick break? Look, I'm all, because I get all excited and I throw off my time. Yeah, I got a little time. Okay. I get excited and I throw off my time. So they keep me on track in here because I can talk all day. Yeah, I believe it. So people can request it. What phone number can they call?
So they can just call our main number.
Main number 414-727-6320. And they can just ask for you, Callie, and they can get connected. So if you know an organization, you're having a health fair, you want that examination component, you want to have a professional come out and look at these rashes that are out here, you can request that 414-727-6320 and request connection with the mobile health unit. Are you planning to expand in 2025? Do you want to be at more locations? How does that work for next year?
Yeah, that's always our goal. Right now, we're working on a partnership with another local agency, as I mentioned, to do vaccines. So we're just finishing up the contracts on that so we can expand our services that we're currently providing. And then we're working on additional staffing so we can really offer that vaccine clinic throughout the community, and then we're going to be hopefully growing from there.
I love it. So in terms of the connection points, health fairs, people are planning for next year. This is your time. Make that connection. When people have been seen by the mobile health unit, when people are seen in the schools, and maybe it's something that can't be diagnosed or can't be kind of ironed out on site. What is that referral process like to get them back to the clinic? What's that connection?
The provider and the unit would schedule an appointment with them so that they can continue that process with them.
Okay. So it's not like you're left in the cold. Ooh, what is that rash? We don't know. Have a great day.
Yeah, good luck. See you never.
Right. Right. So they can right. Just put some tussin on it. Exactly. Listen, don't just put some tussin on it. Make a plan, come see us, and then get that care. One thing I've been harping on this show is that preventative care. So sometimes getting in, seeing the doctor regularly, them knowing some of the conditions that could be taking place, knowing your medical history, knowing your family's history, you can head off a lot of these diseases. And of course, eating right. So that's another piece. Exercise. And exercise. Oh, that's the one that gets me every time. Lord, I say October 1st, I'm doing 75 hard. You got to work out twice a day. You got to take cold shower. I'm on it. Man, October 1st came. I said, look, the thickness is here to stay. Okay? This bed is comfortable. This cheese is delicious. But I think, again, all those pieces play a huge role in us being healthy. So how many nurses, what does that staff look like in your schools right now?
So for our schools, we have a nurse practitioner at each site and a medical assistant dedicated to each site.
Okay. So they're taking care of our babies. Do you think the school systems, the programs will expand as well?
There's definitely interest in that. We've definitely been discussing it with some other sites. And just the same for schools and the mobile unit. There's always so much interest, but we got to make sure there's that buy-in from the community that we're trying to serve. So we do have some feedback information. So what kind of services are you looking for? What are you hoping to get out of this for not only the partnership, but also for the participants? So we can make sure, is this a one-time visit that we need to do, or is this an ongoing partnership that we're hoping to build?
I love it. So listen, call Callie, your executive director, your associate director. You're trying to keep populations healthy across the city. Give her a call, 414-727-6320. Get on her calendar and let us learn more about you. I think it's all of these things collectively that will keep us healthier. Now, I'm going to get my vaccinations next week. I had to find the sweet spot because they do make you a little under the weather a couple days. I know. I know it's that. He's like, that's that virus. That's that virus. Get down to get in there. That's that virus. But it'll knock you down for a little bit. But I travel a lot. I am in the public a lot. And what I have learned in throughout COVID, people are nasty. Where's the hand washing? Where is the sanitizer?
And
Where's
we're so in
the
each other's business. I didn't realize that until COVID. I'm like, oh
like,
goodness,
you just gonna sneeze like that, and I will give you a stare in public. You just gonna sneeze like that, just all in your
and your hand,
in your hand, and then just wipe it on the side. So when we come back, we'll talk habits and washing your hands, just washing your hands and not being nasty. I mean, and also teaching that to the kids, right? Because they need to learn these practices too. So you're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. I'm Ebony Solly. I'm in the studio with Callie, our mobile health and school-based care coordinator. We will be right back. Welcome back, Milwaukee. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am Ebony Solly in the studio with Callie Doherty. She is our mobile medical and school-based clinics manager. She is the glue for all things that we're doing out in the community. Let me just put it that way. So we are excited to have her. So welcome back. We were talking school-based and the amazing things that we're doing in those schools, the potential for expansion. We talked mobile health unit and the potential for expansion of that. But folks, if they like what they hear, they can actually get connected, because you told me during the break, we're hiring for a driver.
We
in mobile health
are.
unit. Okay.
So if
okay.
this work sounds interesting to you, please check out our website. We need a driver to help us get that mobile health unit to all these needed sites in the community.
So if you like to drive, listen, that's the other piece. If you,
And you
like
can drive a
to
giant mobile medical unit.
do they need like a CDL for
You
that?
don't need
Do
a
you know?
CDL.
Okay.
no.
Okay. We have a career fair. So perfect segue. We have a career fair at Outreach Community Health Centers next Wednesday from 4:30 to 7 p.m. So we are hiring for medical assistants. We are hiring for a mobile health unit driver. We're hiring for some of the street outreach connections that we have in the community. So we're hiring those professionals. I believe we're also hiring case managers. So if you have been doing this work, you enjoy this work, you are looking for work, just show up with your resume, be ready to interview. We're doing on the spot interviews from 4:30 to 7 next Wednesday at Outreach. And we're located at 220 West Capitol Drive, right in the heart of the community. So they can connect, they can come and hang with us every day. I absolutely love that. The other piece we were talking about during the break, how parents, so if they're listening, they have children that are at Carmen or they have children that are at HAPA. How do they get connected to care?
Yeah, so we send out in the school newsletters each week. There's a QR code. You scan that with your phone, and it brings up all the paperwork that you need to fill out. If you don't want to do that, no problem. You can always call our main office at the number that Ebony will mention again for you.
414-727-6320.
Absolutely. Call that number and you ask to talk to one of our PSRs, our patient service representatives, and they will help you get your child registered, and we can make an appointment for them to be seen the next time that our physician is on site, or they can just be registered. So if they come home, if they're at school and they're like, oh, my stomach hurts, I need to come home. Why don't you go talk to the doctor first, see if you need to come home or if you're feeling okay.
Yeah. So let's talk services. So can they do medications? I mentioned at the top of the show, growing up, I was one of those sick kids. So I had like my medicine that was signed off on in the nurse's office. Are they doing that? And what other kind of services do they have in the schools?
And yes, everything that we do in the schools particularly has to have the sign off by the parent or guardian. So if there is, as you fill out the paperwork and that big pile of things that you fill out at the beginning of the school year, can we give your child aspirin? Can they have a Tums? Things like that. But mostly it's education. It's talking to the student. It's talking through things that are happening. Something that we've really been focused on this year is when your child's coming back to school from being out sick, check in with the provider, make sure that they have what they need, make sure they're doing okay, so that they can come back, and then you don't have to go out of your way to go to your doctor's office and get that letter to return to school. You can just come to school and do it right there.
So if you said you don't want a COVID vaccination and now you got the COVID and you're at home and you're convalescing at home while you rest and restore, and then you come back to school, you've got that on-site provider that can just give that final check to make sure everything's good. Because you could be at home convalescing and not come back all right. Now you done picked up monkeypox while you're at home, right? So they're just gonna make sure everything is smooth and in your. Do they do the physicals as well? So you mentioned sports physicals.
Yeah, we do physicals right at the school.
Okay.
You can either make an advance appointment, or if you're registered, if your parent or guardian filled out that paperwork, you can just show up when the provider's on site.
Okay. And then insurances for that. So if they don't have insurance, do they need to figure out the paperwork and the sliding fee scale at that time? Like, will you walk them through that? So I show up, Junior is in, 4th grade, 5th grade, or 10th grade. I need a routine checkup for him, and I don't have insurance.
Yeah, that's no problem. We always provide this service, and then we have up to 10 business days. Our PSRs will reach out. They'll make sure you have the paperwork that you need to fill out. We'll do everything we can to make sure that it's the cheapest possible for you based on your situation.
So things like these allergies, diabetes, and kids needing to check their blood sugar throughout the day, asthma, and having the pumps available, having the medications available if need be, breathing treatments, just making sure that we're taking care of those. I think it's so easy for these kids to fall through the cracks and, just tough it out. I remember, again, I use myself as an example so that we know that we're in this thing together. It took time for me to actually be diagnosed with endometriosis. So I didn't know. I thought it was just severe cramps. I thought everybody's cramps felt like this, but I would be in the school nurse's office like once a month. And actually, the running joke is that when I had my daughter, it was like so quick and painless because I had been dealing with like
building up for it.
debilitating cramps like for the whole. So I was like, "Oh, welcome, little baby. Good morning. How are you?" So again, that preventative care is going to make the transition to health much better.
Absolutely.
Much better.
Because we had talked about asthma issues being part of the reason that we started out at the schools. So one of the things that providers really talk about, and we have posters on different types of inhalers, what those are used for, and really educating the students to make sure that they have the right thing that they're supposed to have with them for different parts of the day and different situations that arise.
I got to be honest, like in addition to wanting to get chicken pox, because I was the only kid that never got chicken pox in my neighborhood. Still salty about it a little bit. Don't need it now though. Just want to be clear. Don't need it now. I hear it takes out adults, so I don't need it now. Having asthma was the other thing. It felt like everybody had asthma growing up. I'm like, I want an inhaler too, right?
I really wanted to break my arm.
I mean, right. I never broke them. Same.
Say
again, I don't need these things now. I don't need any broken bones, but I've never broken a bone. But I wanted a cast so bad.
I want everybody to sign it.
Right.
Some braces. I wanted it all.
Right. It's all of that. So just making sure our kids are healthy. You guys got our back. Anything else that people should know just about the transition from school-based to adulthood? Like, I kind of think the health education piece, how important is that? Because we're teaching kids, like, this is how you take care of your body. This is what your body needs to be successful.
Absolutely. Right? And empowering them to be able to talk to someone about that, because there's so many skills that you don't learn in school. Like, you don't know how to pay your taxes,
preach
checkbook,
but I know the Pythagorean theorem, right?
But useful daily things. We don't teach them how to make a doctor's appointment, when to go to the doctor, when to go to a primary care versus urgent care versus the ER, all those types of things that you are going to need to know in life, where it's going to cost you a lot of money, or really put your health at risk. So having that opportunity for them to build that rapport with a provider is really important, so that they know, like, okay, I can talk to you about this. And not only just for our students, but with our mobile health unit too. There are people like, well, I'm just going to the emergency room. I'm like, wait a minute, why don't you come talk to our provider real quick? They're like, oh, I don't need to go. I'm like, no, you don't. It's okay. But obviously, I am not a healthcare professional, so I always have that clearance from the provider. And it's just so important to build that trust and rapport, like I mentioned. And a lot of individuals don't have that with the healthcare system, and to really be in the community and be able to work with people and educate them on things that are going to be helpful for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. And that one consideration I think people forget about is those vulnerable populations where, and again, I share a lot about myself to let everyone know, like, I'm with you. I get it. But you put off the care, you put off going to the doctor, you wait, because this is more important. The fire that burns the hottest is the thing that gets your attention until it's too much. So let's say the mobile health unit is out. You're connecting with the homeless population, because that the street outreach is something that we do. How is that care maybe different than what they would get in a clinic? And as you were speaking to, there are reasons why people don't want to go to the doctor regularly, but they still need to be healthy. So they roll up to the mobile health unit. They're like, I haven't seen a doctor in 20 years. Right? Is that something that you see?
Yeah, there's one site that we go to that's very close to an encampment. And our primary site is not that encampment, but every time we're there, we stop through and we walk and we're talking to people. Do you want to be seen? Are you feeling okay? We're here today. And there's a lot of individuals that are like, well, I don't really trust the doctor. I don't really want to. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to. You want to talk to me about it first? And then they'll talk to me like, okay, where's the doctor?
Right.
So they want that connection. And we've had a lot of individuals doing things. We had someone that was sleeping outdoors and had a very intense wound, and he was able to get treated right away in the unit. Had someone that had some tubes put in at the hospital, and he never went back to get them taken out.
Have mercy.
So, we're able to get those types of things addressed for him without getting worse.
Right. Because the infection is real and
Exactly.
just all of that. Right.
And we really have been just focused on the unit on harm reduction materials and bringing those into the community.
Tell us what harm reduction is.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what that means.
So harm reduction can be a variety of things. It can be hand sanitizer. It can be condoms. It can be Narcan. We provide emergency, the vitamins just to take for individuals in the community. Fentanyl testing strips. There's a variety of different things that we make sure that we are always stocked up on the unit, so that when we're at a site, those are just sitting out. You take what you need. No, don't ask us about it. It's just there for you.
Just take it.
Even a gun lock. You take what you need.
Right. Now that I wish more people felt compelled to do this work. So I think even when you talk about the hesitancy of folks coming to see a doctor, the mistrust, I think we forget on the other side of that coin, these are people who saw a need and dedicated their lives to this, right? Like I'm with you. I don't want everybody operating on me. I don't want everybody touching me. However, when you find a physician that loves medicine, right? And loves people, and like we'll say, you could either take this medication or you could lower your or eat more of this vegetable or it's your choice, right? But I'm recommending you do it the healthy way. Medications are healthy too, but just when you have that person that loves medicine and loves people, you can't beat that. Absolutely. And I feel like that's what we have. So sometimes I get a little aggressive when people are like, I don't want to go see the doctor. I'm like, come and see our doctors. Exactly. They're different. They're different. And yeah.
No, I've had experience with doctors. I'm like, I'm an adult and this is my professional career. I'm like, maybe I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't really like this one. And then I see how our providers interact with the community and that, how patient they are, and individuals experience a variety of different crises, especially when we're on the mobile unit. You never know who's walking up or what they're experiencing that day, and the level of patience and just comfort that they're offering to individuals is just so great to see. And I'm so glad that the individuals are having that experience.
No, I love that for this community. So listen, if you have not already decided to connect to Outreach, what you waiting for? 414-727-6320 is the number. Primary care, behavioral health, community services. So connected to that care, dental, the pharmacy. We have you covered from beginning to end, and those providers that just care. Right.
Yeah, and we can even connect you to case management services provided through Outreach, because you might have other things you need support with that are not through our primary care.
It's all of that. It's all of that. 414-727-6320. Or you can visit the website. So it has some information if you just want to do your homework beforehand. Visit the website. OCHC-MILW.org is the website. You can plug in there. If you're interested in contacting the mobile health unit, you want to know just more about the services, it's listed on the website. So take a look there. If you are interested in a partnership, a collaboration for the balance of this year and then going into next year, call Callie. She'll get you connected and hooked up. And I think together we get there. Together we will make a healthier Milwaukee. That's going to be my purpose. One of my purposes.
And if you are having questions about, our services, and you really just want someone to come and talk with you, we don't have to bring the mobile health unit every time. I can come. We have a variety of different staff that can come and talk about the services that we offer as a whole and see what's the best fit for you and the best use of your time and what's best for the people that you're serving.
I absolutely love it. So connect with us any way that you can, by phone, by email. There is also a section on the website, if you do visit that, where you can request us to come to your health event. So that's on the website. It'll ask you a couple of details, and then we'll share that information out. It looks like we have a caller. Caller, greetings and welcome.
Yes. Good morning again, and forgive me for the double scoop.
We
of,
love it. We love
the
it.
double scoop of ice cream this morning.
We love it.
Good morning, Callie, and good morning again, Miss Ebony.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tyrone W. speaking once again. Just very quickly before you leave the air, the Narcan, I've been, hearing some on that there. A couple different things there. I know they're saying, oh, you can just go by the fire department or the police precinct and pick that up. But is there any I don't know. I'm just thinking, the possibilities of that going sideways. The addiction or overdose or whatever. Something doesn't go right if you administer the Narcan the wrong way, trying to save somebody. Is there any kind of training or teaching that says, well, the Narcan should be this or the other? That will.
So I asked that question. That look, I'm the nerd homegirl, right? So I was like, wait, can you overdose after you overdose? Can you give
to? Can something go sideways and then you're in a P. Diddy situation?
Nah, no Diddy. No, take that.
Trying to help somebody. So I'll let you answer it. I'll listen to you over the air then.
Got you. Thank you so much for that question. It is a great question. You cannot overdose on the overdose. So the Narcan is, I did. That was one of the questions. I raised my hand. And there's no way to do it wrong. So it fits into the nose and you squeeze. And if the person doesn't come to, you can actually administer another
dose. Yes.
Yeah. And we have those machines in our lobby with the same concept. You come in, you smile, you wave, you go to the machine, you get what you need. It's all free. Is restocked by the county. So if you have a weapon, you have a gun at home, come get a gun lot. Absolutely. No questions, come in and get it. If you use stimulants, right? So again, it's a no judgment zone over here. We just want to make sure that as we say, you're not getting a hot dose, right? From casino. You're not getting that. You're not going to overdose because you can test what you're using.
And make sure it's what you are intending to have.
Yep. So we want you to get into treatment because we do that too. We want to make sure that you're safe, but we understand that everybody's not there yet. So until you get there, come and get those materials from us.
Absolutely. Yep. And there's different types of Narcan that you can give. It's the in your veins or through the nasal spray. There's different harm reduction vending machines throughout Milwaukee County. So you can always Google different locations. If our location on Second Capitol isn't convenient to you, you can always find another one. You're never going to hurt someone giving them Narcan. It's not going to happen. It's either going to help them or it's not what was impacting them. So you never have to worry about that. And then Vivint Health, I'm pretty sure they still do it, but they did training. So I'm certified to train people to give Narcan. And you can also just get trained to get Narcan. It's free training that anyone can take. And there's a variety of different resources in Milwaukee.
So we might have to put that on the agenda to do for outreach, is do a Narcan training.
Absolutely.
I like that. So before we head out of here, Callie, is there anything else the people should know that they should not be afraid? So they shouldn't be afraid to call you.
No, never be afraid to call. Please email, please call. I will always get back to you. We'll always try to set something up. We might not always be available because I get a lot of requests like, well, tomorrow we're having this. And I'm like, that's great.
Give us
really
some lead time. Will y'all give us some lead? Look, I know.
Do that.
I know time is crazy because sometimes I run a little behind, just a little bit.
And especially if you want a physician present, please give me 2 months. My schedule is not as crazy as theirs. I'll try to be there, but again, we have to work with other things going on. So please, if you'd like us to be somewhere, just give us that heads up.
So really, if they're looking at like first quarter 2025, they should be calling you now.
Correct.
Getting on your schedule now.
Right. Okay. And if you want providers there, and if you want someone just to come and talk at your health fair, there's a variety of us that can do that. And the more advanced notice, the better, but we're happy to accommodate that.
Okay. So give us 2 months. Let that be your guide. For the executive directors out there, the community managers, connectors, this is the time for you to reach out for those health services so we can get on your calendar. So they can call Outreach. Great question. 414-727-6320. You can ask for Callie. If you go to the website, there are 2 places where you can enter your information. And you can say, hey, I'm Ebony Solly. I have a health fair on January 1st. Here are the things that I'm requesting. If you have a sponsorship packet, you can send that directly to us. And then Callie will get all of that information and be able to follow up with you with dates and availability. So it'll kind of take away some of that friction. So great question. Get connected. The website is probably the best place since Callie is out in the community. What are the hours that students can see physicians in their schools if they're at those schools?
So any students for Carmen, we are there every Tuesday from 8:30 to noon. And at HAPA, we are there every Wednesday from 8:30 to noon.
Excellent. And full medical, they are nurse practitioners, so they have done their schooling.
Yes.
They're
They
good.
are qualified. They are
They're
good.
legitimate.
They are wonderful individuals, and they want to help your students. But you have to get that paperwork in first because we would love to help them, but we can't without parental and guardian permission.
And the same with the behavioral health. So we treat that the same way. And is it the same hours that you're in the schools for the behavioral health?
Behavioral health is there a little bit more than the primary care. They're there 3 to 4 times a week, and they have a couple openings on their caseloads for each school, which they're hoping to fill pretty quickly. So if you have a student there and you're interested, please reach out and let us know.
And make it happen. Community Heartbeat, connecting you today with school-based primary care in the mobile health unit with Callie Doherty. Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers, not just a show. This is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We're here every other Friday. So thank you, Milwaukee, for spending your morning with us. It has been a pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen, for a fabulous show. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
It's the Third Thursday networking event featuring the pitch competition, October